guys, I just got back from Africa. Well, I'm making this video because I want to inform you guys about Africa. It's a great trip and I definitely would advise you to go there. However, don't go to some of the places that I went to. First, we stopped at the Pittsburgh airport for our trip to Africa. We then boarded our plane and flew to the Cape Town airport. Cape Town is the second largest city in South Africa and is the province capital of Western Cape. While there, we took a tour of the city and saw some sights. The first place I went to after Cape Town was the Castle of Good Hope. The Castle of Good Hope is a star fort built in the 17th century in Cape Town, South Africa, originally located on the Table Bay coastline. In this picture of the courtyard, you can see Table Mountain in the background, which we will be talking about later in the video. The next spot I went to was Camps Bay. This was one of the most relaxing parts on the trip because I just got to sit back, relax, and enjoy the nice breeze. The next stop on our trip is to Table Mountain. Table Mountain was a really good time. I got to snap this picture before walking up to the mountain. This was a really cool experience at the top of the mountain because when I got up there, we went on an aerial cable. I have never been on one before and I was a bit nervous at first because I'm not a fan of heights, but eventually I got used to it and I really liked it and I wanted to do it again. Cape Peninsula was a really good time, but going there, it took forever. We got stuck in traffic in downtown Cape Town, which took a while to get there, that's for sure. The next place I will be going to after I left the group, I decided I wanted to go to Cape Peninsula. When I went to Cape Peninsula, I took a boat ride. It was a really good time, and I got a ton of nice photos. Here's one of them from a boat. It was a really nice ride. The next place I traveled to was the KGALAGADI TRANSFRONTIER located in Botswana. The geography of the KGALAGADI TRANSFRONTIER are sand dunes, and some of the wildlife that live there are leopards and lions. While at CHOBE National Park, I saw 6 different animals that I would like to talk to you about. First animal I'm going to talk to you about is the leopard. The leopard lives in both rainforest and arid desert habitats. The next animal I'm going to tell you about is the lion, the name of my favorite football team. It is an animal that is a predator in the African wilderness, but also sleeps up to 20 hours a day. The next animal I'm going to talk to you about is the elephant. A lot larger in person, it can drink up to 30 to 50 gallons of water per day. The next animal I'm going to talk to you about is the zebra. Zebras have black and white stripes. It looks like a sea of black and white stripes when they're all together, because they usually move together in herds. Also, the black and white stripes on each of their bodies are not alike. They're like the fingerprints of a human. No two are alike. The animal I'm going to be telling you about next is not only the tallest living terrestrial animal and the largest ruminant, but it also has a blue tongue. The next animal I will be telling you about, or the last I should say, is the hippopotamus. It is a large animal, mostly a herbivorous mammal that lives in sub-Saharan Africa, and the only one of the 2 extant species in the family Hippopotami. The name comes from the ancient Greek word for river horse. The next place I'll be going to is Victoria Falls, which flows into the Zambezi River. Once we got to the Victoria Falls, it was one of the most beautiful things that we saw all trip. While we were there, we took a tour of the falls. They talked about a lot of statistics about the falls, and we went for a little swim, even though we probably weren't supposed to. After this, we went up the Zambezi River and traveled through countries such as Mali, Tanzania, Burundi, and Rwanda, and then we entered Uganda to go to the KIBALE Forest National Park. The park was really nice. I took this picture before we went down. I want to show you some of the wildlife that we saw there. There was a lot of interesting animals. The first animal I saw was the chimpanzee. This animal is a species of apes, the genus Pan. This species is divided by the Congo. The next animal is the warthog. The warthog is commonly found in the savanna and grasslands or woodlands in sub-Saharan Africa. The last animal I saw was the African buffalo, or the Cape buffalo. It is a large African bovine. It is not closely related to the slightly larger wild Asian water buffalo, and its ancestry remains unclear. The next place I went to on my trip was Nairobi, Kenya. My favorite city on this trip. It had so many elegant skyscrapers and awesome buildings in the city. While in Nairobi, Kenya, we took a lot of tours and went sightseeing. If you look in this next picture, the building in the middle with the black windows and the tan outer frame was the hotel that I stayed in while in Kenya. The next place I went to on my trip was Mogadishu, Somalia, one of the worst places you could go. It was one of the worst decisions I made on this whole trip. It is a bad place, a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of pirates there. They try to hijack cargo ships that are going to different ports. Here is a warning from the US government saying that tourism in Somalia is not a good idea. Now here was the journey. It took us forever to get from Somalia to Mali, Timbuktu. That took forever. We went all the way across Africa, from the east coast to the west coast. That was such a long trip. The trip to Timbuktu, Mali was really long, but I must say it was worth it. In 1327, this monument called the DJINGUEREBER Mosque was built. It is used for prayer and can hold up to 2,000 people inside of it. I showed you the smaller parts, circled in green, where we specifically were at the time. This is the large map, showing everywhere we went on this whole trip. Thanks guys for watching this video on Sub-Saharan Africa. I hope you learned a lot more about it, and I hope that you will someday go on this trip. Thank you.